Director Fred Dekker, director and writer of the horror film Night of the Creeps, was planning to do a Goonies-style horror film. His idea was to make a film that would bring back the classic Universal monsters. The film would follow the adventures of a group of horror genre loving kids who have to fight and stop monsters led by Dracula from getting their hands on a magical amulet, which may bring about the end of the world. The film he was planning would be called The Monster Squad. He hired screenwriter Shane Black, who was an actor in his film Night of the Creeps. Black's first draft of the script was ambitious, to say the least. The opening of the film featured Van Helsing, accompanied by zeppelins and hundreds of men on horseback, storming Dracula's castle. Director Fred Dekker stated that this sequence would have gone way too much over budget. Shane Black added his family dynamic, especially with the father being a cop and the effect it had on the family. Director Dekker and Shane Black wanted to make the film mostly comedic and poke fun at the holiday-themed horror films. Dekker cast young actors who were at the time virtually unknown. For the lead, he cast Andre Gower, who started out doing commercials. He cast child actor Robbie Kiger, who was known for starring in the horror film Children of the Corn. Other actors cast as the lead kids were Brent Calum, Ryan Lambert from Kids Incorporated, and Ashley Banks, playing the youngest Phoebe. The Goonies' inspiration for the young lead characters is pretty obvious, and you see the obvious stereotypical young characters found in many 80s films. For the role of Dracula, actor Liam Neeson was originally considered. Duncan Rigo was cast as Count Dracula. Tom Noonan was cast as Frankenstein's monster. For the role of the scary German guy, they cast Leonardo Kimino. For the role of the main parents, they cast actress Mary Ellen Trenor, who was a favourite actress of director Richard Donner, Robert Zemeckis, and producer Joel Silver, and starred as the main mother in The Goonies. For the role of the cop father, they went with TV actor Stephen Macht. For the opening scene in the film, director Dekker wanted to show the castle in the beginning of the film using a Monty Python and the Holy Grail style model. Executive producer Peter Hyams felt that the model looked too fake, so a matte painting was used instead. Dekker said on the Blu-ray commentary, "When the film shifts right into that era, it's part of the film's charm. There are impressive monster effects in the film, some of the best." The makeup and special effects work was done by the late great Stan Winston and team. Winston is responsible for some of the most iconic creature effects in movies, and the movie pays wonderful homage to the classic monster movies of Universal, including Dracula, Frankenstein, The Mummy, The Wolfman, and The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Interesting to note, the Wolfman's face was modelled after that of Stan Winston. Director Fred Dekker notes that the controversial, scary German guy's backstory added a level of realism to the film when he shows the Holocaust numbers on his arm. In the Blu-ray commentary, Ryan Lambert mentions how upset he was that his character Rudy runs away from Frankenstein's monster and that he'd be too cool to flee in fear. He and director Dekker agree that it's a facet of his character that he's really not that cool. Lambert also notes a motive Dekker had to putting him behind shrubbery throughout the film. Apparently, actress Ashley Banks was nervous when her character Phoebe says the word shit. It was the first time she had ever cursed in her life, and was worried her mum would be mad at her, but she actually encouraged her to say the line. Other actors who appear in this film is actor Jason Hervey as one of the bullies. He was in the series The Wonder Years the following year. Before her face-to-face encounter with Dracula, director Dekker told Banks to scream. She asked when. He told the 5-year-old she would know when. The actress got into the contraption that raised her to meet actor Duncan Rager. They shot some coverage without incident, but when actor Rager put red contacts and sharp fangs in, Banks' reaction was a genuine fright when she sees Dracula for the first time in the film. Duncan Rager wouldn't wear his red contacts or fangs around the 5-year-old Ashley Banks off camera because it scared her too much. The rats seen in the opening shot are actually armadillos. The film was cut by 13 minutes because some executives didn't want it to run more than 90 minutes, which is just ridiculous. The film is way too short. The Monster Squad was released by TriStar Pictures on August the 14th, 1987. Catchphrases for the promotion of the film were, "The end of the world starts at midnight. Call them for a monstrous good time. You know who to call when you have ghosts, but who do you call when you have monsters?" Unfortunately, the film was not a major success during its theatrical run and had mixed reviews. Kevin Thomas of the Los Angeles Times wrote that it was fun for the kid in all of us. The film was a huge success on home video and was released by Vestron Video in 1988. Since then, it has developed a major cult following since its release. The film score was composed by Bruce Broughton, and the film featured Michael Sembello's pop song Rock Until You Drop. In 2008, Rob Cohen, who served as producer on the original film, said that the rights to the film were with Paramount, and there were plans to remake the film. However, he had no desire to direct it. The announcement in 2014 of a remake being made received a negative response from fans, and the project was soon to be dropped. A year after The Monster Squad was finished, Shane Black and Fred Dekker worked together again writing Shadow Company. The script was going to be an action horror film about a group of US Special Forces soldiers that died during the Vietnam War, whose bodies are used for army experiments and rise up from their graves as unstoppable zombies. John Carpenter was going to direct the film in 1989, and the film would be produced by Walter Hill and would star Kurt Russell, but the film was never made. Shane Black would go from being a writer for Lethal Weapon and The Last Boy Scout to being a successful writer-director today on films like Kiss Kiss Bang Bang and Iron Man 3. The Monster Squad was a fun monster movie that could only belong in the 80s. People loved the film all over the world. At the time of its release, it kinda went unnoticed and found its audience on home video. Like most 80s cult films, I'm not sure if a film like this could work if it was made today, generally due to young audiences not really knowing about the old 1930s Universal monster movies. The recent film disappointments, Dracula and the Tom Cruise Mummy movie, has proved that. But surely, with the popularity of Netflix, Stranger Things, maybe it has a chance to be remade. But no matter, The Monster Squad doesn't need to be remade and can stand on its own. It's mostly nostalgia for me when it comes to this film. I was in the same age group as the kids in the film, so I kind of relate. My name's JonnyBaak, thanks for watching.